Hi, I'm Darren Tolliner, Service Manager at Coeur d'Alene Tractor, part of the Adams Tractor Corporation. Before using your tractor and trying out any new features on it, it's important to consult the operator's manual and go over all the safety features within. Today we're going to be going over the service points on our Kubota L3902. This will be similar across our entire product line. I mean, obviously, you know, our different models, the filters and dipsticks and fill ports aren't going to all be in the same places that would be on this tractor, but this is just to give you a general idea of what to look for. So first thing we're going to find under here is this is our battery location and our air filter. The air filter is something you want to check quite frequently, especially if you're out field mowing or working at very dusty conditions. You don't want to overcheck it because there is such a thing as over-servicing your air filter. But on this tractor, it's just one air filter. Some of our larger model tractors and even some of our B series will have what they call an outer and an inner air filter. So this one just has the one. So obviously we're just going to check the one. So the other thing we want to check while we're looking under this particular location of our tractors is there's a radiator screen here. Dandelion seeds, any chaff, any dust, any large particulate dust, it'll actually catch it here in the screen before it goes into the radiator. So if you happen to notice that your tractor is getting running hotter than normal, or if it is in fact overheating, the first thing you want to do is check this and clean this screen, and then put it back in here once you're done. And then this little spring-loaded tab holds it in place. And the other thing we would check here is we actually have our coolant overflow bottle. This is actually more of an expansion bottle. A lot of people get this confused with the coolant fill. So depending on our ambient temperature is going to dictate the level of the coolant in this bottle. So on a colder, fall day, wintertime, that sort of thing, the coolant level might be down here. On a hotter day, like 85, 90 degrees when we're working on the field, it's going to be closer to the full point. So this will fluctuate. The more important thing to take note of, and you only want to check this when the tractor is dead cold, not after it's been running, because the pressure can build up in this radiator and it can actually scald you if it is hot enough. So when the tractor's dead cold before you've ran it at all, you would pop this cap off right here and check to make sure we have coolant up to the bottom of this net. You can see through this cover here, we have our alternator here with our fan belt that goes around our water pump as well. So we would check the tension on that belt there, make sure it's tight. And then here's our engine oil dipstick. And what we want to look for on our dipsticks across all of our Kubota models is anything in between these two lines here is considered full. Kubota considers that full. We obviously like to run it more towards the top because it's better to have more than not enough. There are two fill filters on this machine. This would be our fuel water separator slash fuel filter. This is going to be a higher micron fuel filter, so it won't filter as well as our primary. So this would be what would be called the secondary fuel filter. Even though it is the first one in line, it'd be a secondary fuel filter. And then our primary is actually located here. So this comes from the fuel tank. We actually have a fuel shutoff lever here if you're storing the tractor for a long period or if you're actually changing the fuel filters. And then this filter right here is our engine oil filter. And then just above that to the left is our engine oil cap. So this is where we would actually put engine oil in if we were changing the oil or needed to add some to it. So this is our four-wheel drive front axle on the tractor. It does have its own oil, and right here is the oil fill plug. So that oil will fill this center case here, and it'll also fill our two bevel gear cases on either side of the tractor. There are drain plugs on the back side of the bevel gear cases on both sides of the tractor. That would be how you would drain the oil to service it. So when we're filling this or checking the level on this front axle, you'd pull this plug out, and as long as you have oil up to the bottom of the threads of this hole or a little bit of oil dripping out of there, then that means that's full. These are the steering tie rods, and we also have two grease zerks on either one of these tie rods on both ends, on both sides. There are a grease zerk on the front pivot point and the rear pivot point on this front axle. This particular 3902 is equipped with a hydrostatic transmission. You would push forward on this pedal to go forward, push back on the pedal to go in reverse. The most important thing to note with that is this tractor is equipped with true hydraulic filters. So on the right-hand side of the tractor is the hydraulic filter, and on the left-hand side of the tractor would be what they call the HST filter, or the hydrostatic filter. Moving to the back of the tractor is how we would actually check our hydraulic fluid level and our transmission fluid level. The transmission on this tractor is the hydraulic reservoir. Both the transmission and the hydraulic system share the same fluid. So it's important to note if, depending on what model tractor you have, actually pretty much across our entire Kubota line, the transmission is the hydraulic reservoir. So anytime you're changing fluid in these tractors, you want to make sure you're getting a hydraulic fluid that's rated to be used as a hydraulic fluid and also as a transmission fluid. Right here in the middle of the floorboard is our dipstick for our transmission. And it's the same as engine oil. Anything in between these two lines is full. And to fill our transmission and hydraulic system, it would be on the back of the tractor just above the 3-point top link. It's this red cap right here.